Chapter 1: The Crash. The starship Eclipse burned as it plummeted through Earth's atmosphere, a dying comet of twisted metal and flickering energy. Inside, Zara, a young alien girl of the Violian species, clutched the sides of her escape pod, her heart pounding in her triple-chambered chest. She had been part of a peaceful exploration mission, sent to study humanity from afar. But when a rogue faction of her own people sabotaged the ship, labeling her a traitor for advocating contact with Earth, she had barely escaped with her life. The pod crashed into a dense forest, the impact knocking her unconscious. When she awoke, the world was dark, the air thick with the scent of smoke and pine. Her body ached, her violet skin bruised, her elongated ears ringing. She stumbled out, her glowing silver eyes scanning the unfamiliar terrain. Lone. Stranded. Left for dead. Chapter 2. The First Encounter. Zara didn't know how long she wandered before she heard the voices. Human voices. She hid behind a tree, watching as three figures approached. Two men and a woman, dressed in rugged clothing, carrying weapons. Hunters. Soldiers. One of them, a tall man with a scar across his brow, paused. "You hear that?" Zara's breath hitched. She had activated her translator implant, but she didn't know if they would understand, or if they would fear her. Then a twig snapped under her foot. The humans spun, raising their guns. "Wait!" Zara cried, stepping forward with her hands raised. "Please, I mean no harm." The woman's eyes widened. "What the hell?" Zara braced herself for gunfire. But instead, the scarred man lowered his weapon. "She's hurt." Chapter 3: Shelter. Against all odds, they took her in. The humans, Marcus, Elena, and Jax, were survivors of a nearby settlement, one of many struggling to rebuild after a devastating global conflict. They had every reason to distrust an alien, yet they carried her back to their home, a fortified town called Haven. First, the people were afraid. Some called for her imprisonment, others for her expulsion. But Marcus, their leader, stood firm. "She's just a kid. And she's hurt." Elena, a medic, tended to Zara's wounds. "You're lucky we found you," she said softly. "Another hour out there, and the scavengers would have." Zara shivered. Why are you helping me?" Jax, the youngest of the three, smirked. "Because that's what we do." Chapter 4. Learning Humanity. Days turned to weeks. Zara learned their language, their customs. She marveled at their resilience, how they laughed despite hardship, how they shared what little they had. One evening, as she helped plant seeds in Haven's struggling gardens, she asked Marcus, "Your world has suffered so much. Why do you still fight?" He looked at the sunset, his face lined with years of struggle. "Because giving up means they win. And we refuse to let that happen." Zara thought of her own people, how fear had turned them cruel, how they had abandoned her. For the first time since the crash, she didn't feel alone. Chapter 5. The threat returns. Then the sky darkened once more. A Violian warship descended over Haven, its shadow swallowing the town. A voice boomed from above. "Commander Vex, the one who had ordered her death. Surrender the traitor, or this settlement will be erased." Panic spread. People screamed, clutching their children. Zara's heart pounded. She had brought this upon them. Marcus grabbed her shoulder. "We're not handing you over. But they'll kill you all." Elena cocked her rifle. "Then we'll make it expensive for them." Chapter 6. The Stand. The humans fought like demons. They had no advanced weapons, no energy shields, just grit, traps, and sheer stubbornness. Zara helped where she could, using her knowledge of Violian tech to disable their scanners. But it wasn't enough. Vexed soldiers breached the gates. Just as all seemed lost, Zara had an idea. She sprinted to the crashed escape pod, still hidden in the forest. Inside was a beacon, one that could call for help. But not from her people. From Earth's allies. She activated it. Chapter 7, Reinforcements. A new ship arrived, human but unlike anything Haven had seen. Sleek, powerful, emblazoned with the insignia of the United Earth Defense. Vex's forces hesitated. A transmission crackled through. "This is Captain Ryland of the UED. Stand down or be fired upon." Vex snarled but ordered a retreat. The warship vanished into the sky. Haven erupted in cheers. Chapter 8. A New Hope. In the aftermath, Captain Ryland approached Zara. "You're the one who signaled us." She nodded. I didn't know if it would work." He smiled. "You gave us a fighting chance. That's what matters." Marcus clasped her shoulder. "Looks like you're one of us now." Zara looked around at the humans. Bruised, battered, but unbroken. For the first time in her life, she felt something she had never known among her own kind. Epilogue, a new journey. Zara chose to stay on Earth, bridging the gap between her people and humanity. She would never forget the ones who had left her for dead. But she would also never forget the ones who had shown her what it meant to be alive. And in the end, that was enough.